Hey everyone, excited to be joined today by Eric McMillan at Fairway Mortgage. He is the area manager for the Central Indiana, all of Indiana. Is that right, Eric?
Yeah, all of Indiana, myself and my partner is Austin Lahr and Barry Lux. Yeah.
And Fairway is one of the largest mortgage lenders in the U.S. So I thought it would be a great opportunity to chat with Eric. We have a lot of clients, a lot of friends and family asking us, as far as our team, a lot of questions revolving around mortgages right now. Is it a good time to refinance? What is this forbearance thing? So I thought we'd just get some quick questions answered for everyone today. So we appreciate your time, Eric, and joining us on here.
Yeah, always enjoy it. So let's roll.
All right, let's do it. So I think one of the biggest questions we hear is in the national news a lot. We hear that the Federal Reserve has lowered the interest rates.
Yeah.
What kind of impact does that have on mortgage rates? Are they
Sure.
zero?
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah. Well, the Fed fund rate do not mirror mortgage rates do not mirror the Fed fund rate. Fed fund rate or the rates that banks lend to other institutions. They're more the short-term type loans, vehicles, home equity lines of credit. If the rates go lower, if you have a home equity line of credit, the rate will go lower. If they go up, they will go up. But as you know, as you mentioned, the Fed fund rate is at zero. And while mortgage rates are very low, they are not at zero. So they do not directly correlate. And a lot of times the interest rates for mortgages they are based upon the mortgage-backed security market. And they anticipate, and a lot of times if the feds are going to lower the rates, the mortgage rates can come down. Conversely, there are times, it depends upon what the market's doing, that it could have an adverse effect on mortgage rates. But yeah, they're not one and the same now.
So that being said, I know mortgage rates can vary based on particular credit scores, loan situations, all of that. But can you give us kind of some guidance on what mortgage rates do look like nowadays?
Yeah, yeah, it's a great time to buy or refinance. Your money goes a lot further, without being able to go into specifics with a specific product or rate or that sort of thing, because credit score, loan to value requirements, different products have different sort of interest rates. You have fixed rate compared to ARMs, that sort of thing. But what I feel safe in saying is that mortgage interest rates are at or near an all-time low. Okay, so you're going to be able to borrow more money if you're so inclined at a reduced rate.
So for our followers and listeners that are maybe have a mortgage now on their house and either are looking for ways to save some money during this kind of unprecedented time, or just save some money in general, I guess.
Yeah.
Is there a rate that maybe on their current mortgage that you would say, hey, it's probably worth checking with a mortgage professional to see what your refinance options are?
Yeah, absolutely. The idea of refinancing, you either are consolidating debt or you're reducing your payment. And a good rule of thumb, and it varies by loan amount. Somebody who has a $500,000 loan amount is going to save more per month than somebody with a $100,000 loan amount. But a lot of times, if you can save about 0.5% or more in terms of where you're currently at on your rate compared to where you could be, it might make sense. A lot of people also kind of have in their head, I want to save $100 or more, or if I want to get some cash out on my refinance, I don't want my payment to go up more than X. So it's really a comfort thing for individuals, but a decent rule of thumb is 0.5% or more on the interest rate, or $100 or more. The borrower has to receive what's called a net tangible benefit. And we do that on the back end to make sure that there is a benefit to refinancing for the borrower.
So I know I've seen, and I know you can't speak to specific rates, but I know I've seen mostly rates in the threes come through on a lot of things on our end. So I'm assuming if somebody has a 4% plus rate on their home right now, it's probably at least worth talking to
Yeah,
somebody.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Okay.
And the good thing is At Fairway, there's no cost to finding out. Uh, we do not have an application fee. You don't pay for your credit report if we have to pull a credit report, those sorts of things. And then we can do a comparison for you. This is what you're currently at. This is what things would look like if you looked at refinancing. Does it make sense? If the answer is yes, great. We're off and rolling. If the answer is no, then we say, okay, well, we'll keep an eye on it as well. We have different, a CRM that we could put somebody in and earmark if they want a certain interest rate. And if it hits that, we notify them and we get going that way. So there should be no, at Fairway, there's no cost in finding out if it's beneficial for you to refinance.
That's great news. So if you're thinking about it, call and find out and see if you can save yourself some money, I guess.
Absolutely.
How's that process work? Can applications be done online? I know we can't meet in person nowadays in a lot of cases. So how easy is that process to be done from home, I guess, is my question.
Yeah, I mean, thank goodness technology has come a long way, and pretty much every lender, I think, has a web present on the internet, and they might have a website. Fairway obviously does. All of our loan officers also have their own personal mobile app. So, for instance, Clay, if you were looking to refinance your home, I could send you via phone a link to my personal app, and you can complete the app online. It also has a mortgage calculator that you can use. You can upload documents by taking a picture, sending it over. It's very user-friendly. Most times, 5, maybe 10 minutes to complete that. And you can do it all on your cell phone. Whoops, you can't see it there, but all on your cell phone here. So it's very easy, and people, right now we're kind of forced into that, and it's amazing to see how efficient you can be when you're made to be efficient, right? And so very, very user friendly, can be done really quickly. And like I said, the cool thing of being able to upload documents and track the progress of your file, you can do all that from the app.
So bottom line is, if somebody thinks they might be able to save some money on a refinance right now, it's free to ask and can be done really from the comfort of your home or wherever you're at. So risk really.
Yeah, absolutely. And one other thing that I'll just add is appraisals. Is regarding appraisals. Pardon me. There are a good amount. There's a good chance that you could receive what's called a property inspection waiver. Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, on conventional loans, there are times when you can receive what's called a property inspection waiver. We call it PIW, where you don't need to have an appraisal done. During a time when you might be a little sensitive or apprehensive to have somebody come in your house and do an appraisal, that helps there. There's a cost savings of having an appraisal done. So there are numerous advantages to not having to have an appraisal done, and we're seeing that on a decent amount of files as well. So something that keeps you safe, lowers costs, it can be a good thing.
Great. Well, let's switch gears kind of real quick here. I think another question that we've seen a lot from our folks are this forbearance thing, a term that's, I know it's been around forever, really, but has become really a hot topic in the news and media and social media nowadays. Hey, I don't have to pay my mortgage for 3 months or 6 months. That sounds like a great idea. I'm assuming, I know that there are some strings attached there. So maybe you could help our viewers out with, what is exactly, I guess, forbearance look like, and should I do that versus refinance?
Right. Yeah. Well, the first thing that is key to know, forbearance does not equal forgiveness. Okay. So if a person gets one thing out of our talk here, that would be what I would want people to know. Forbearance does not equal forgiveness. Doesn't mean that if you go into forbearance for 3 months of payments, that you don't have to make 3 payments. Depending upon the servicer and the investor, you may have that 3 months that you were in forbearance tacked on to your monthly payment until you catch up, or they'll back end it at the end of the term. We've heard some different things. The thing that I really want to caution people on is there's a lot of uncertainty on how it would affect you. And by that, I mean, your credit is not supposed to be affected, but this has all happened really, really quickly. And we have seen instances or have heard of instances where it could adversely affect your credit. And if you don't want your credit impacted, by somebody not maybe knowing if the investor doesn't mark it correctly, we'd hate for anybody to have an impact on their credit in an adverse way. So that would be the important thing. And then secondly, what I would say is there are times when going into forbearance is necessary for an individual. But we're stressing to our clients, if you don't need the forbearance, might be a good idea not to use it, because you don't know what impact it could have down the road on you. So forbearance does not equal forgiveness, and anybody can do what they feel they need to do for their family. But we advise, if you don't have to not utilize it. I've been doing this long enough that back in 2008, the individual had to show a need, and they had to be able to prove that. Well, with the forbearance rules that have been laid out now, anybody can ask for the forbearance. There's no proof needed that it is necessary. So, but there's a lot of misinformation and confusion out there. So that's why we suggest what we can, but each individual has to make their own decision.
There's no such thing as a free lunch, right?
No. Not when it comes to mortgages. I can tell you that. Yeah.
Right. Well, we appreciate you joining us today and clearing up some of those questions. If people have further questions about either of these, or maybe you want to apply for a refinance, what's a good way to reach you, I guess?
Yeah, our website is indyfairway.com, INDYFAIRWAY.com. You can also go to my personal website, which is fairwayeric.com, and a lot of ways you can reach us. My email address is ericm@fairwaymc.com. So just appreciate you inviting me on here. Hopefully we help some folks and with some knowledge, and always appreciate seeing you.
You as well. Thanks for taking the time.
All right, take care.